Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, you'd be forgiven for forgetting that there's still a European football tournament going on, and England fans have been gathering in Nice ahead of tonight's clash with Iceland. Our sports correspondent Kemi Nzerim is there, and there's no hiding from the Brexit debate ahead of tonight's England game. Kemi, what have the fans been saying about Britain's future?
Well, Matt, it very much depends on who you ask, because down here in the south of France, there are, of course, France fans. Because of tonight's game, there are also Iceland fans and there are also England fans. Now, one thing is for sure, sport and politics do mix. The fans that we spoke to, at least, do have opinions about Brexit, about immigration, about finance and much, much more. And those opinions, well, they were far from shy about sharing them with us.
Okay. Thanks, Kemi. Well, back to Europe's other challenge now, and the Euros have been marred by sporadic violence, from England and Russia fans in Marseille to Lille and Lyon. This programme went undercover with some of the England fans before last week's referendum and found some shocking racist and abusive behaviour. And a warning, there is strong language of a racial and highly offensive nature in Paul McNamara's report.
The eyes of Europe are on France. An entire continent is coming together. And these are our unwitting ambassadors.
I'm just here for the violence. We're just here for the pushes. If you like
It's the start of a major football tournament at the end of a major political campaign. And Channel 4 News has gone undercover with England fans. This is mid-afternoon, 22 miles from where a game is being played, and unprovoked. And perhaps most shocking of all, our team joined England fans the day after beating Wales 2-1, drinking en masse in Place de la Gare, the central square in Lille. Roma children wander the streets here. Some fans give them coins, some bump fists, and some are vile. This wasn't the only hate we witnessed aimed at Roma children. We also witnessed fans stepping up to defend. The night before, English and Russian fans clashed here. 37 went to police cells, 16 went to hospital. But today, among some England fans, the hostility still flows as freely as the beer. And just 6 days before the most important democratic decision of many a generation, this was the message from one small section of society. And then came the misogyny. 2 nights later and the flock of fans have migrated to Lyon. England play Slovakia the next day. There are skirmishes throughout the city as local hardline hooligans, known as ultras, clash with our fans. This amateur video purports to show a swarm of England supporters setting upon a French fan. Fresh from the fighting that night, we meet Alex. Happy to take on 40 fighters, unhappy that some England fans fled the violence. Regional pride that those who stood their ground were from his beloved northeast. Thousands of England fans in France are like these, here just to have a good time and enjoy the football. And the FA have been keen to point out that only a tiny minority of fans are involved in any violence. But a tiny minority is all it takes. And what happened to our ambassador on high? In his euphoria ripping up the flags of Europe in front of a baying crowd, he fails to notice his beloved England left blowing in the wind.
Paul McNamara with that piece on England fans and their views before Brexit. Well, what do they think since Brexit? Kami Nzeram has been finding out.
Lilting on the Côte d'Azur breeze among the million-dollar mansions and James Bond Uber yachts, the referendum victory chant as England face Iceland in France. Plenty of time before kick-off for a quick dip, but fluttering above, the French in post-Brexit mourning, or just a cheeky sense of humour.
So, along the rather conveniently named Promenade des Anglais, what is the mood? Vive le Brexit or Regrexit?
Reflecting on the post-Brexit world is easier under a Mediterranean sun. In France, out of Europe, c'est la vie.
You're a Brexiter.
Yep.
And why did you vote leave?
The usual things. It was the immigration issue.
Do you, now that they've said actually we can't guarantee the numbers, do you feel betrayed in any way?
I feel a little bit betrayed, yes, but I like to think I was clever enough to work out that it may not have been the whole truth anyway.
And given what has happened, the lack of a plan, the spook to the market, how do you feel about that?
A spook to the markets, yeah, I mean the markets don't like uncertainty. I mean we will live for that for the next 5 years, no doubt. Will the whole thing collapse? Absolutely it won't.
The beer may suddenly be more expensive, but the party goes on, oiled by the impromptu arrival of a controversial boxing champion.
What do you make of what's been going on at home with politics?
You know what it is, I don't get involved in politics anymore.
Really?
No politics.
Did you vote?
I didn't vote, no.
No, you didn't do it.
I was too busy kicking ass.
Mr. Fury, for one, might avoid politics, but for these fans at least, Brexit is serious business, and Europe has got what it deserved.
If we'd have been taken seriously by Europe when Cameron went to renegotiate, I think Europe didn't take the risk of Brexit very seriously. They should have given us the desire to reform and recreate an EU that we want to be part of.
If Britain could have stayed in to make it work, I think I would have voted in, but it wasn't possible. You've got to leave a sinking ship before it goes down.
For Icelanders living in Britain, however, it's brought an unwelcome undercurrent of xenophobia.
I'm sad that you did what you did.
Really? Why is that?
It sends a bit of a nasty signal to EU immigrants like myself.
While some of the French, flag bearers-in-chief for the entire EU project, appear to have caught the Brexit bug and want their own.
Brexit, yes, Brexit.
Where does it end? The beach, French. The lager, Dutch. The shirt, English. Kami Enzerum, Channel 4 News, Nice.
I've been getting